What is going on, everyone? We're back in our Bears franchise in Madden 17, and today we begin the Season 2 off-season. We're going to be starting out with re-signed players here in this episode. We have 21 players to negotiate with. I'll tell you right now, we're not going to be bringing back all 21, and actually, majority of them we're not going to be bringing back. Looking at the retirees, first off, there's some big names out here. Adam Jones is going to retire, Jonathan Joseph, William Gay, Will Blackman, Josh Scobie, Donald Penn. No superstar names on here like last year Tom Brady retired, but still some pretty big names out there. They're going to call it quits after this year. Now, looking at player regression, this is something I forgot to show last year, but we're going to take a look at this here, and this is key to look at now because Zach Miller is going to drop 32 attribute points. He's now a 76, 33 years old. He is up for re-signing. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring him back. Sam Acho is going to lose 26. Darrell Freeman, coming off the injury, going to lose 26. He's getting older. Terrence Cody, not as big of a name there, but he's going to lose 19. Bushrod loses 18. Bobby Massey is going to go down 16. Kyle Long, already getting older, it's saying, but he's only 29 years old. Is he really getting that much older that he needs to lose 2 to his pass block and his impact block? That costs quite a bit to upgrade. Alshon Jeffrey also is going to be showing as getting older. He's only 28, but he loses 2 to his speed, acceleration, and agility. Not something we want to see with our top wide receiver, especially after the poor season he is coming off of. But that is player regression for this year. Good to take a look at that just to kind of see where the players are trending. And now we will get into the player re-signing. Akeem Hicks is the first guy on the list. We're going to skip him for now. We're going to move to some smaller names here. And the first one I'm going to be looking at is going to be Matt Judon. I'm actually pretty happy with this guy. Pretty good edge rusher. And he's going to be a cheap one. $2.36 million per year. He only wants 2 years. So we're going to put that offer out. And he is going to accept. So probably going to end up either keeping him at outside linebacker at the right side or moving him to the left, become the backup on that side because we do need some help on the other side. Charles Leno is going to be the next guy. Again, a cheap option, $2.3 million to be the backup left tackle. And we're just going to put that out there. 2 years. Is he going to accept it? No, he's not. He wants to test free agency. And this is going to be a guy right away that I'm going to try and get back once we head into free agency because he's really good backup, just really cheap and nice to have there. Austin Johnson became the backup at D-tackle after some injuries, and I really like this guy. Only a first-year player, and he is going to come back very cheap as well. Tyler Higbee, I want to bring him back. I was very impressed with him after we picked him up off of the Rams practice squad. He wants $2.98 million per year, which is a little bit more, and he wants 3 years, but still, I feel like he's going to be worth it, going to continue to grow. Very, very good pass catcher, which is what we're looking for in a tight end. Glenn Henry is going to be a guy we don't bring back, and this is actually going to start the guys we don't bring back. Adam Humphries, I'm not going to bring him back. We're going to get Daniel Braverman back, and he is a worse version of Daniel Braverman, so we're going to hold off on him for now. Riley Spear, center that I picked up last offseason as a undrafted rookie, 69 overall, but I'm not going to bring him back. Nick Kwiatkowski, and this is here, the spots at middle linebacker. We had some injuries this past year, and Darrell Freeman still is not back. He's still out, I think, like 12 weeks. I'm not sure if he's going to be back for the start of the regular season, but I'm going to re-sign Kwiatkowski. Ego Ferguson, a backup at left end. I'm going to bring him back, and again, these are just guys, depth guys that are pretty cheap and can fill roster spots. Medikevich, I'm going to bring back as well. And if either of these guys end up not turning out in terms of the preseason, or if we get someone better in the draft, it's going to be cheap to release them, so not a big deal. Brendan Coleman, I'm not going to be bringing back. Mike Glennon, we are going to bring back. I feel like we traded for Glennon. We gave something up for him, so I kind of want to bring him back at this point. And, I mean, we have the money. He wants $4.38 million per year. We have $35 million in cap room, so not a big commitment to make for him for 2 seasons. As, I mean, he didn't play last year. Hopefully he doesn't play again. Hopefully he never plays for us because that means Dudley stays healthy and is playing well. Zach Miller, you see he wants $3.6 million, and as I said, 33 years old. Getting worse, slowing down. I'm not going to bring him back. I think I like Higbee a little bit more. As much as Miller has done for this team, just not going to bring him back at his age. Jermon Bushrod is going to be the same. He wants $1.95 million. I'm going to try and get him for a 0 signing bonus just to see if we can kind of steal him here. He wanted $3 million actually, but yeah, no surprise there. He is not going to come back. I'm not even going to pursue him either. We'll look for an upgrade there at left guard. Penn O'Donnell is going to want $1.82 million for 5 years. O'Donnell, pretty good punter, so why not? We'll bring him back cheap, perfect. And then Akeem Hicks is going to be the final guy here, and he wants $5 million a year for 4 years. He's 81 overall. He's 28 years old, and I thought about this one for a pretty good while, and ultimately I decide to not bring him back. Akeem Hicks, I mean, he did have the three offside penalties in the divisional round matchup, but even beyond that, I wasn't really impressed with him. He's not a guy that you really see a whole lot in comparison to Cecil Rudd in his rookie year. I wasn't too impressed with Akeem Hicks, so I'm not going to bring him back. And then, actually, that's going to be the last signing we make. I'm not bringing back Cordell Patterson. I'm not going to re-sign Curtis Drummond. I'm not going to re-sign Kerry Lee, Lyndon Singletary. All of these guys we are going to let walk, and we will try to upgrade. Some of them, I mean, it's just a pure depth. We have a lot of wide receivers. We don't really need to bring any of these guys back, and we still have enough wide receivers. So I'm going to try and upgrade some of these positions in terms of the depth and try and get a little bit better in the back end of this team. So all of those guys are going to walk. We now move on to the free agency. So the re-sign players was pretty easy. We only had a couple guys that declined. We didn't re-sign actually a ton. And now looking at free agency, we have a lot of money to spend. We have $33 million. And look at the big names at the top here. Ziggy Ansah, unfortunately, he doesn't fit our scheme. He's a 4-3 guy. We're looking for a 3-4. But look at this. La'el Collins of the Cowboys hits free agency, 88 overall. That is definitely someone we're going to look at. Clinton Dix. We don't really need a safety, but you can see some big names. Last year, there was not a ton of big names in free agency, but this year looks much better. Eric Ebron, that would be a very good tight end to have. There's Akeem Hicks. We got Deion Lewis, a lot of wide receivers, a lot of running backs, some pretty good corners. Sam Shields there, Trey Boston. So the free agency looking pretty good for this season. Now, we're not going to be doing free agency in this episode. That is going to come at you in the next one. And, I mean, honestly, looking at the team, thinking of the team here, I think there's only maybe 3 spots we really need to address. I would like to possibly, we're going to look at Eric Ebron at tight end there because we could definitely use him, possibly pair him with Tyler Higbee. That would be quite the duo there at tight end. But Collins there, that left guard, I said I was looking at upgrading the offensive line at the end of last episode, and we are going to look immediately at him. He's going to be the first guy we look at. Hopefully he doesn't want too much money, although I don't think a left guard would necessarily want a ton of money, but we're going to look there. And then also defensive end, obviously, we lost Akeem Hicks, so we're going to be looking at a left end or a right end. Those are probably the 3 biggest needs, and then beyond that, we're going to be looking at corner. Can we grab another maybe good wide receiver? Quarterback, we're pretty much set on. The rest of the offensive line, obviously, we'll look and see if we can get any better at those positions. Linebackers, we're kind of set pretty much, I would say. Maybe a left outside linebacker. Safeties, I think we need a new backup strong safety, so a couple minor ones, but also those are things we can address in the draft. So really those 3 I mentioned, that's what we're going to be focusing on here in free agency. So we'll get into that next time. That's going to be it for this one, though. If you enjoyed it, please go and give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe to see any future videos that I make. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.